Hey everyone, today we're doing a live build of an n8n content generator using the new Web Search API that OpenAI just dropped. It's going to look online for examples of content that we want to create. It's going to improve the quality of that content, then find information from a bunch of relevant resources around the internet, create its own outline, generate a bunch of high quality content based off that outline, call various APIs in order to generate imagery that corresponds to the article, and then finally combine all that stuff together into a fantastic high quality piece of content. If you guys want to see what an actual development process looks like, then this is the video for you. Stay tuned and let's get into it. So I'm going to jump onto the n8n canvas in a second, but before I do, what you're looking at right now is my game plan. Before I build any system, I typically spend a few moments and I think about what an appropriate sequence of triggers and actions might look like. So to make it clear, I haven't actually built this system yet. If you guys are going to watch this video, you're going to be along for the ride. I'm actually going to show you the various dead ends that I go down. I'm going to run you through some bug fixes, as I am probably going to encounter some bugs. And really, you guys are just going to get a first-hand look at what a real development process looks like. And despite the fact that, this may be a roundabout way to get to the end result, which I'm sure you guys are looking for, which is the content generator system in front of you working and beautiful, I prefer to do it this way because I think it's a little bit more authentic. You guys get a feel for what it actually involves to put a system like this together. And then I also think it's a lot more educational because if you guys just take a look at like the Eiffel Tower or something, and then somebody tells you, okay, good, so you've looked at it, now go build it. Where do you even know where to start, right? So anyway, I can wax poetic about this all day. I'm not going to. Let's look at the game plan. We're going to start with some sort of trigger. Now, what I'm thinking we're going to do is we're going to start with a keyword. So I'm going to need to find some way to feed in a keyword into the system. Maybe I'll use a form input. That's probably what I'll do. I'll probably use a form input. I could use a chat input. I could use a webhook. I mean, maybe I'll have two or three just to show you guys how you can add multiple triggers in n8n actually. So we're going to start with some sort of trigger. What I'm going to do is just, I'll send it a keyword, okay? Once I have a keyword, the model is then going to research other posts using this new Web Search API, which is pretty new from OpenAI. They published it just a couple days ago. I know that sort of dates the video, but yeah, it's currently in preview and it's a great model. It's going to replace a lot of my Perplexity usage. Then we're going to generate some outlines using the data that we found from the Web Search API. Basically, we're going to take a bunch of other posts that other people have made. And I'm thinking we're going to feed these into AI and then have AI come up with new and improved ways to write those posts, maybe a new angle and maybe like a new outline structure so that it doesn't copy any pre-existing information, but so that we can make it better, which is ultimately what we'll be rewarded for SEO-wise. And then after we've generated these candidate outlines, what I want to do is I want to feed these into an LLM, stands for large language model, just like OpenAI, GPT 4.5, whatever. Then we're going to write a bunch of content with that. Okay, we're going to write the content after we generate the outline. And this is really important because we want the outline to give our content some sort of structure. I find if you don't have some sort of guiding, overarching structure to your content, the quality tends to be pretty poor. And that's how we're going to avoid this. After that, we're going to create stylized images using AI. I say stylized here because if you just have it generate you an image and if you're just like, hey, make me an image of a building or something, your article talks about buildings, the quality is usually pretty crappy, if I'm honest. And it's very evident to people that are looking that it's like AI content. But if you have some sort of theme for your blog, maybe some sort of hand-drawn theme or retro theme or something, if you make it stylized, then the people that are looking at the images will attribute any issues in quality to just your style as opposed to necessarily, the model itself being an AI, right? Then finally, I'm not really sure if we'll fully do this, but I'm probably going to queue up some posts in some way, shape, or form, maybe a Google Doc or a WordPress install or something. Okay? This is my game plan. I'm going to be referring to it over the course of the next, hopefully, hour and a half or so, but we'll see how long this video ends up being as I put together this build. And then, yeah, we're going to see where we land. This is a system that I've very similar to a system that I've sold for many thousands of dollars. I probably made over like 80K off of this system directly. And then if we're talking indirectly through me publishing on YouTube, similar variations of it, several hundreds of thousands of dollars. So the very first thing we're going to need to do, just looking at this n8n canvas, is obviously we're going to need some sort of trigger, right? So I'm going to go to add first step, and I have a variety of trigger options here. Obviously, since I'm testing, I'm going to add this. This is a trigger manually. The value in this is you could set some mock data, okay? So why don't we just go back here? Why don't I just call it keyword? There'll be some variable here called keyword. And I don't know, we have a bunch of cool keywords here. Why don't we just type in agency sales process? Now, if I have some grammar pros in the chat, in the video, not in the chat, rather. I keep on forgetting this isn't a live video that I'm doing, not a live workshop, because I've been doing a lot of those. for anybody that's watching this, you might be looking at, and who's unfamiliar with SEO, you might be looking at keyword and you're like, that's not a keyword. Those are 3 words. Well, keyword is just a, I don't know, convention, disambiguation for multiple words, but basically it's what you type into Google to get some sort of result, okay? So you see where it says agency sales process in Google? This is the keyword. This is what we're looking for. And ultimately what we want is, holy crap, that's funny. I rank, oh my goodness, no way. I'm on the frickin' first page of Google for agency sales process. Okay, no, I'm not. No, I'm not. Thank goodness. That would have freaked me out. I'm just here because it's probably my account. Okay. Anyway, so yeah, we're gonna pin this output, right? So let me just zoom out a bit. Save this. And now what we've done is we pinned, this agency sales process keyword. I don't like the way that looks, so I'm just going to say test flow. After that, I'm probably going to do some sort of n8n form just to show you guys what this looks like, right? On a new n8n form event, we'll also feed into here, and we'll have a question. I don't know. It'll just be example form. There'll be one here called keyword. Field type will be keyword. It'll be required. Okay. That's going to open this up. Then I'll say agency sales process. Click submit. Okay, so now we basically have, if you think about it, the same duplicate data here, right? We have a value called keyword, which is ultimately what we're going to want, and I'm going to pin it. So now we have a manual way to do this. We also sort of have like, this would be the end product if I were to show it off or pitch it to a client or something. But I'm going to just use the manual test flow, and I'll jump in with the form test flow just at the very end after I'm done with all this stuff. So that's the first step. We need some sort of keyword trigger. Cool. So that's actually done. It's probably the easiest step that you could possibly have. Just going to check that. Actually, let's check it from the left. That way it'll be standardized and easy to see for everybody. Okay, the next step is we need to research posts using the Web Search API based off this keyword. So anytime that I'm looking at an API that I haven't worked with, and I haven't worked with this API because it's new, I'm going to run through a very simple step-by-step process, and I do it every single time. And if I don't know what the API is, this process allows me to sort of get the 80-20. I can get up and running with the API as quickly as possible, dealing with authorization, dealing with the specific endpoints I want, yada, yada. Now, I know for a fact in this specific case, since I'm going to be using an OpenAI API, I already know what the link is, for one, because I just posted this in my community. And then number two, I know that they're probably going to have a really good documentation. It's not going to be that difficult, okay? But let me run you through what it looks like regardless. So basically what I want is I want some sort of thing that looks like this, if you think about it. So this is my tools web search. This is where I'm going. Basically what I want is I want a way to do an HTTP request to this endpoint with some sort of authorization bearer. This is my token. Then I need the content type to be application JSON. Then I need to feed in the model GPT-4o search preview with some web search options. I guess these are some additional options, which I'll have to look into. And then under messages, I guess this is the input that I actually feed in. I have one called role user, and then what was a positive news story from today. This looks really, really interesting. Realistically, we're probably going to have to formulate our own prompt because I can't just type in. I mean, I guess I could just type in the keyword agency sales process, but I'm probably going to want to ask it a question. Okay, so the very first thing I always do is I always just look at an example of the input. If there isn't an example of the input, APIs are made a lot more difficult, but nowadays, basically any API worth their salt is going to have an example of the input. Now, curl just means like an HTTP request that I'm going to be sending from a no-code tool like n8n. The cool thing about n8n is you can actually just copy in a curl request, paste it into the HTTP node, and it'll actually go and generate the whole thing for you, which is sweet. That's what we're going to be using. Yeah, you basically just always want to be finding some sort of example of a curl request, okay? So after that, output and citations, the API response item in the choices array will include, okay. So it's giving me a bunch of options, I suppose. That's nice. Do I care about this? I guess so. So this is an example of the output. So it looks like the output that I will be going for, the explanation will be here. So I'm going to go for, it'll be message content. So this section right over here. And I'm just thinking in my head, okay, when I call this, when I reference this variable in the HTTP request, it's going to be message.content. Then annotations, these are going to be citations with links to various pages. They're going to be buried over here. And it's actually going to include the characters as well. End index, start index. That probably just means like, it's like a link, you know, like if the link is the New York Times created a survey on X, Y, and Z, like the start index would be the character in that sentence. So the New York Times, like the start of the N, which would be the 5th character, that'd probably be where the link would start. Then it would go all the way to the end of the thing about the study. which would be over here. So that's kind of neat. We have a bunch of data. Looks like those web search options were just a bunch of different location things. So I don't really know if that's super necessary. And there's some other ones like search context size and all that crap. All right. So is that super important for us? Yeah, not really. I guess all I really need to do is I need to get this authorization up and running. So my very first goal is I just want to have an HTTP request inside of n8n that works. I'm not actually going to do it based off my data, but I'm just going to go create a new HTTP node back there. Then I'm going to click import curl here, and I'm just going to paste all of this in, okay? When I import it, what it's going to do is it's going to parse that because n8n has their own little parsing library. It's going to put the URL in the URL field. Authentication in this case will have none because we're going to manually insert it. This is typically how I do so. I don't really like using the built-in authentication. You certainly can if you want. Body content type JSON, specify body using JSON. So all this looks really good. All I really need to do, if you think about it, is I just need to get my bare OpenAI key. So the way that you do that in OpenAI, let's just go to, in my case, the top right-hand corner. Then there'll be API keys for the organization. Then I'm actually, I don't think I can copy this anymore, so I have to create a new one. And I'm going to call this specifically Deep Content Generator API key. The reason why is because I'm going to delete it right after this so that nobody can just use my API key. So I'm going to copy this, go back here. Then you see where the $ OpenAI API key, I'm just going to paste. That's my API key. Okay, cool. Just looking through the rest of this, all of this looks pretty solid. Maybe we'll do, what are some articles, high-ranking articles about the agency sales process? Maybe let me do a test step. So it looks like it's taken some time. That's great. That means that it's probably working. Normally, when it doesn't take time, it returns instantly. It's not. And great, it looks like it did. So I'm just going to move over to the schema view over here, and I'm going to give myself a little bit more space because odds are the outputs are always going to be a little bigger and more lengthy than my inputs. That looks nice. As you can see, I have some content here. Developing an effective sales process is crucial for agencies aiming to scale and blah, blah, blah. Here's some high-ranking articles with insights on it. Okay, so I have the content. It looks like the content gets truncated or cut off very early, so I can't actually see the output very nicely. That part kind of sucks. But I do have a bunch of high-ranking articles, supposedly, so that's pretty cool. Could I do... I don't actually know how this works, to be honest. First time I'm using it via API. So why don't I type something in like, find me 3 high-ranking articles about the agency sales process, and then extract their outlines in Markdown format. Output as a numbered list, i.e. the first article's outline should be 1. The second article's outline should be 2, and so on. Let me see if I can just grab that directly, because that would save me a step. I don't know for sure, but I'm just testing the capabilities of these models. Obviously, we're going to have to verify that this is consistent. It doesn't look like it's doing that. I think the reason why... Oh, you know what? You know what, actually? Looks like it is doing that. Fantastic. Okay, great. So I'm actually getting outlines here. That's really cool. Here's the issue with this. I'm not getting a format. Can I get this in some sort of JSON or JavaScript object notation format? If I could get the output as just like... it doesn't look like I can actually output it as a, like I want like an array containing 3 items. The first is outline for 1, second is outline for 2, third is outline for 3. So what I'm going to do, just for simplicity, so I'm going to do an OpenAI message and assistant, or message and model request. Then I'm going to feed in my own credentials. And now I'm just going to see if I could reformat this content using AI. So I'm going to go GPT-4o. I'm then going to say, you are a helpful, intelligent content assistant. I'm going to use that as the system prompt. For user, I'm going to say, let's think. Your task is to take the output of a search module and reformat that into JSON. Your JSON should follow this format. We'll say article outlines. There'll be an array. It'll be title. Then it'll be markdown outline. Cool, that looks pretty good to me. Let me just open this up a little bit more. So let me pump this into JSON formatter just because I want to have some of that formatting. Format beautify, there you go. It just makes it a lot easier for me to see, and I think that's really important in long-term maintainability. So article outlines object, which is an array that contains a bunch of article outlines containing titles, markdown outlines. Rules. I'll say there will be 3 outlines. Insert all of them into the appropriate object using the markdown outline parameter. In addition, make sure you format the outlines. Make sure you replace any new lines with \n, since I'm sending this via JSON, via HTTP request. Cool. If any information is missing, only use the supplied parameters, i.e. title and markdown outline. If any information, that information is missing, leave the value as this. Cool. That looks good to me. I'm going to click output content as JSON, and then I'm going to add a message. I'm just going to feed in this content. Okay. It looks like we have access to all of these outlines, which is nice. I'm then going to test the step now and see if we can grab some JSON. I'm loath to introduce AI into more steps in this process than I have to. Like, I can technically have AI be the reformatter, but ideally, I wouldn't actually have to do this twice. I'm thinking I'm going to have to do this twice, just given what I'm seeing here. Okay, this looks pretty good to me. So all of them follow this introduction format. I don't like how there are 3, you see how there are sort of 3 heading parts here? That doesn't seem like it's going to be the most consistent, so I'm probably going to run into some issues there. Looks like it's using Markdown and it's determining what the heading is, so I can actually tell it. To structure the outlines, make sure insert the title as an H1, then insert the next headings as H2s. If there are any nested subheadings, use H3s, etc. Let's test this step and let's just see if there's a better output now. Something that maybe is a little bit more consistent. I think that there probably will be. This is taking a fair amount of time. Why? I don't know. Maybe the server's under load or something. Maybe my prompt is really long, but it's really not that long. And if we're being pragmatic here, I mean, this is nothing in terms of usage. I should probably reduce the output randomness or the temperature down to something a little more manageable. Okay, while that's running, let's just format this a little better. Give myself some room. Let's go back to, oh, okay. We did get the output. All right, so this looks much better. This is a very standardized format, right? We have the title, but then we also have the whole article or the whole thing in Markdown, which is very, very valuable. Okay. And this is what it looks like. If I go Markdown live preview, I just paste this in. No, it doesn't really work that well, does it? Okay, anyway. See where it says the secret for success to agencies? Then it says the sales playbook. This is basically what the article is going to look like, or what the outline is going to look like. Right? That's good. That's what we want. We have one bullet point here, another bullet point here, another bullet point here. Then we have this here, right? So this is basically what the outline is going to look like. So that's cool. Let me just finalize. I don't like how there are 2 bullets here. We just finalize this just for my own clarity. It Looks like for whatever reason, this tool automatically inserts another thing. Oh, about the author, Dave Fisher, background and expertise, contact information. Interesting. That's really interesting. No, I don't know if we wanted to write anything about Dave Fisher in here, but cool. So just ignore all of the /ns. As we see here, what we're going to get as our end result is we're going to get a couple of outlines. The secret to success for agencies, the sales playbook. Introduction, delegating sales responsibilities in agencies, importance of a sales playbook, why agencies struggle to develop sales systems, why create a sales playbook, how to succeed, just get started, about the author, Dave Fisher. This is pretty good. Okay, so now I just want you to think about, my goal here. My goal is I'm going to grab 3 outlines like this, really. Then what I want to do is I want to have AI combine the best parts of all of them, basically to turn this into like a mega article or a mega outline. And then I also wanted to come up with like a couple of new headings, basically, that'll improve the probability of this just being considered new and exciting and interesting content. Maybe a slight different angle on something that these guys didn't talk about. So from here on out, my thoughts are, I'm probably going to have another AI node. The only purpose of this AI node, the only purpose of this AI node is going to be to get these outlines, stick them all in the input, and then just generate a better outline afterwards. And the outline should be formatted in a very specific and standardized way. If I want to make use of that outline later to write content, and if I want to be able to make use of it to do anything, like if I standardize it now, I'll be able to use this for anything. Like this doesn't have to be a content generator. It doesn't have to be an article generator. I could generate outlines, but I could use those outlines to generate YouTube scripts. I could use those outlines to generate posts of any kind. I could use them to generate and basically an infinite number of posts that have the same idea and the same structure and the same high-level topic, but might actually be a little bit different. I could publish 50 articles on the same topic or something like that, and then I could have all of them rank at the top, right? Like, if you think about it, that would allow me to maximize the opportunity of a system like this. And then if I'm building a template, I'd be able to sell it in a much wider array of purposes than just like an article generator, which is my first thought. So that's kind of cool. I think I'm going to do that. So I'm going to head back over here to Deep Content Generator, and I have my outputs right over here. Just because this looks basically exactly like what I want, I'm just going to pin this, make this really easy for me. So from here on out, and you know what, I might as well just pin all these outputs, to be honest. So from here on out, I now have my 3 outlines. Why don't I just rename this a bit? Oops. I think I might be using my voice or something like that. Sorry. I need to rename this. Why don't I just call this, call OpenAI Web Search API? By the way, is this like available in the OpenAI node now? If it is, and I'm just being silly, I'm just going to do that. Custom API, yeah, I could use a custom API call. No, I couldn't. Got to add my credential first, sorry. Now that I'm thinking about it, like, they probably updated something. No, they didn't. This is the assistant. Let's just do text. No, I'm not seeing anything here. Maybe there's a preview. We have an audio preview. Do you have a web preview? Oh yeah, you know what, sorry. We actually have a search preview directly embedded, so you don't actually even need to do the API call. That's really funny. Oh well, you tend to learn these things as they go. Regardless, I like the fact that I've done this API call. That's cool. I don't really mind it. Sure, you have to put your own token in plain text and whatnot, but if you guys want to replicate the same functionalities that OpenAI node, it's much easier to do so with the actual OpenAI node itself as opposed to the HTTP request. So you know the harder thing, you'll be able to do the easier thing. Okay, so right. So then what does this do? This right over here is going to extract and format outlines. That's all that this does. Doesn't do anything else. This model here is going to generate better outline. That's what this is going to do. So for this, I'm going to use GPT 4.5, which as of the time of this recording is the best free model that I could use. Sorry, not free, best freely available model that I could use on the API. You're a helpful, intelligent writing assistant. The system prompt will be your helpful, intelligent writing assistant. The text will be, your task is to generate a high quality, comprehensive outline for an article on a given topic. Okay, the topic will be provided to you along with 3 outlines of other articles that we've scraped from the web. you must digest the 3 other outlines, combine them, and understand what they are. I'm not going to win any awards for this prompt, but I just want to get something on paper as a rough draft, and I can always edit it and iterate it later. So I'm just giving it my thoughts as if I were talking to a staff member or something. You must digest the 3 other outlines. Digest these 3 outlines fully and completely. Combine them, generate a new outline using content from the previous 3 outlines as inspiration. Make sure your outline is significantly better, more comprehensive, discusses more topics. If you believe that the provided outlines ensure that you are not repeating verbatim what the outlines are, but effectively encapsulate the concepts and ideas they're talking about in your new mega outline. Okay. Output in JSON using this format. We'll just say mega outline. And then what I also wanted to do is output your mega outline in Markdown ATX format. For those of you that don't know, Markdown ATX format, it's just where you place hash signs followed by a space before the heading text, so just like this. That's a heading 1. Okay, next up, where the hell was I? Output your mega outline in Markdown ATX format. Next up, ensure, let's say, vary formatting, use H1s, H2s, H3s, H4s, bullet points, etc. in your big outline. Okay. Do not include any personal information, say, of the writer in your finished these outlines in your finished product. Sometimes they add or append their names to things. Leave that out. Cool. That looks pretty good to me. I'm now just going to feed in these 3 outlines. So if you think about it, I mean, I'm always going to have Markdown outline, Markdown outline, Markdown outline. This is a very, very quick and easy way to do this. I mean, like we could map, we could grab article outlines here. Okay. And then we could just like map the Markdown outline together and stick it all. But I mean, I'm not going to do that. I want to just get this up and running as quickly as possible. So I'm just going to write keyword. What I'm going to do for keyword is I'll just go test flow. Then I'm just going to grab item. And then, oh, I think that's just it, right? Oh, geez. I guess we have multiple items here, right? Should just be agency sales process. Then down over here, I'm going to say outlines. Why don't I just do 1? We'll go Markdown outline number 1. Then 2. And then 3. Is this the most scalable way to do it? Not really. Like if I wanted to have this generate 4, I'd have to go in here and then hard code it. But to be honest, I think 3 is probably sufficient. But yeah, you'd be able to do something like you can map a new array that just contains these and then just join them all together if you wanted to. A variety of different ways to do so. Okay, then I'm going to click output content as JSON for temperature. Let's go 0.7. I'm also going to do the same thing back here just because I personally find that and this might just be my bias, I find that the usual model outputs are a little too creative for me. say creative, I mean that in a very loose sense. I think that these models can be like super annoyingly flamboyant and just use like words that nobody ever would. I have a 4-liter giant bottle of water. My girlfriend's been telling me I need to drink a little bit more water, so I'm going to be doing so through an aluminum straw. Oh my God, that's way too cold. Good God. My initial goal with this was to drink all 4 liters every day. And I was like, well, I'm just going to get one bottle. And that way I'll know when I'm done the 4 liters, right? You know how much 4 liters of water weighs to carry around? Ridiculous. Okay, got the mega outline over here. Let's take a peek at this. So I'm going to say, I'm just going to feed this into my own model. Let's just do GPT-4o. Render this in Markdown. Just going to paste this in. No. Okay, well, whatever. That's actually fine. So it's actually going to create me this and just format it for me. I didn't want it to render it for me like this, AKA just add the new lines. I wanted it to actually show me what this thing looked like, but that's okay. I guess we could just do that. So this is the more comprehensive one now. Start off with an introduction that defines the agency sales process, talks about the importance and benefits of a structured sales system, then discusses common misconceptions about sales processes and agencies. We understand the challenges. Okay, cool. Internal barriers, external barrier factors, creating a robust sales playbook, purpose and value, key components of an effective sales playbook, essential stages. This looks pretty good. Yeah, this looks pretty good. All right. So now that I'm thinking about it, this would be a good opportunity for us to add links right now, right? Be a really good opportunity for us to add links. So I might actually do that. Okay, so just to keep track of what we've done, we've now researched other posts using the Web Search API, right? So now it's time to generate candidate outlines select. So we've actually done that, and I'm just going to have this do the selecting. It's not going to select a candidate outline. It's actually just going to combine them all. So now we just have to write the content using the LLMs, and then we create the stylized images using AI and queue up the post. I think there's an opportunity for us to add links, though. Not of furniture. Why is this? Oh, right, JSON formatter. I did some free service. You don't have to use it if you don't want to. It was make ads pop up after a while. This is really long. This is super long. So there's obviously not going to be any meaningful way that we'll be able to generate all of this in one shot, right? Like, I hope we're all clear here. We're not just going to pump all this into AI and be like, hey, write me an article. It's going to do a really shit job. So what we need to do is we need to iteratively prompt AI. We need to feed in sections, probably like, I don't know, a few sections at a time. And then depending on the length of the final article, we might feed this into O1 Pro or something like that, O3 or something. Just have it like iron out any, like a lot of the time when you generate stuff section at a time, like if I generate like this introduction separately and then I enter this section, like a lot of the time the model is going to like restate the same things kind of like here at the margins. No, that is not a dick growing out of this wall, but it's going to restate the same things kind of here. And so what an, O1 Pro would do, or O3, or whatever these like reasoning models are, they have really long context windows. So they'd actually go through and they'd unify them. They would remove, I can't really delete in this, unfortunately, but they would remove all this stuff and make it all good so that like the paragraphs flow seamlessly into each other. And in this way, we'd eliminate the length problem. It costs us a little bit more because we're producing higher quality content where we're reprompting it a bunch, but we'd have a lot more control over the end process, I would say. And then, yeah, we basically split it into a few flows. There'd be like a top level writer flow, which would do the iterative thing. And then there'd be an editor flow, like the O1, which would actually like, do the editing and stuff. But yeah, I'm starting to think like there's probably an opportunity to put links in here. So what do I mean? I mean, like, imagine if we just wrote this, it said agency leaders aversion to sales. And then there was in brackets, little bracket. And then it said, Forbes.com article that talks about X, Y, and Z. And then there was a link, right? So I don't know, like what if, shit, how do you do Markdown again? Is it this? Hold on one sec. I need to figure out how to do Markdown links. Okay, link text here. Okay, so basically it'd be this, right? And you see here, we could just embed this. Then we could say brackets, another bracket here, and then we could say 2015 Forbes article showing X, Y, and Z, right? That way, when we feed this outline into the writer, it'd actually be able to create us hyperlinks as well, which would solve our internal and external link problem. that would solve it completely. So how are we going to do that? Well, let me think back to this. So we're extracting, formatting the outlines. We're not generating a better outline. I guess I just need to do a little bit of research now, honestly. I guess I just need to do research, and then, so what am I going to call this again? Maybe I should call this twice. Okay, I think I'll do that. The first time I'm going to call it, I'm going to call this to generate me these outlines, but I'm also going to call it to generate me articles, like empirical articles on this stuff. Okay, so we're actually going to have two. This first OpenAI Web Search API is going to be find articles, find outlines. And this second one here is going to be find citations. Okay, and then we're going to stick the citations not here, but over here alongside the generate a better outline thing. Then it'll stick the citations in there. So what do we need? Find me statistical. Okay, find me. Let's do 5 statistics, citations, or educational resources on. And then I'll insert the topic here. So we'll put keyword. And let's just say the following keyword to make it really clear that that is what we're supposed to do, just in case there's some grammatical issues, right? Agency sales process. For each link, provide a 1-line summary of the key findings. Okay, let's give this a try now. This is going to overwrite pin data. Yeah, that's fine. I don't mind. Let's see if it can do this. If it can, we'll just combine that directly in the output and use it to generate a mega outline that contains positive citations. Here are 5 statistics and educational resources related to the agency sales process. Okay, so now I'm going to go here. This is perfect. This contains everything. Wonderful. Yeah, wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Oh man, I'm so stoked on this. Oof, that's going to be juicy. Okay, so we have the citations now. So when we generate this better outline, you know what we're going to do? In addition, as well as a bunch of citations with 1-line conclusions, you must digest these 3 outlines fully and completely. Understand the citations and 1 conclusions. Generate a new outline using content from the previous 3 outlines as inspiration. And then weave in the citations and 1-line weave in the citations. Okay. Make sure to include all citations, all of these citations you're given. Use Markdown ATX format when linking them in the outline. Okay, so down here, I'll say keyword, outlines, and then I'll say resources. So now I'm going to go find citations right here. Scroll all the way down to the bottom because I'd still consider myself a novice at n8n formatting. And so sometimes I will be referencing an individual, or I need to unpin this node and execute it. Sometimes I'll be referencing an individual item as opposed to, something else. So I am going to unpin this. And now in order to test all this, I'm going to have to run it all. Yeah, I think I'm going to have to test this all, which kind of sucks. I hate doing that, but it's what it is. This is a function key. Oh no. I think I'd go all. Then I go last. Then I go JSON. Then I go content. Is there content? Message? Let me think for a second. Choices. It's choices. Choices. I should just have one choice. I do just have one choice. Choices, 0. Dot. Message. I mean, I could just drag this in here, but I don't want to. I'm better than that. Dot content. Okay. Hopefully that's good enough. We'll see. Cross your fingers for me. I think that this is going to be a banger. I think this is going to be even better than I thought that the system would be. It's always fun to be able to put together these sorts of things in just a little while. Friend just sent me a very funny text. Okay, so yeah, assuming that this works, then we're just going to go ahead and have it right. And the way that we're going to have it right is if we look back at this Markdown Live preview thing, do you notice how on every line we have these headings? So it's like, 2 number signs, basically. What we could theoretically do is we could split everything by the 2 number lines. So this would be one section. This would be another section. This would be a third section. This would be a fourth section. Let's see here. This would be a fifth section, okay? Just like that, and then this would be a sixth, and then finally that'd be a seventh, okay? So we could actually go ahead and we could generate the whole article like that. And then we're just gonna have a massive hodgepodge of stuff. And then once we have that massive hodgepodge of stuff, rewrite this, but not in Markdown format. I want to find the link. Where the hell are the links? I don't see any links. Link, please. Not seeing any links. Yeah, so it doesn't look like it's actually doing the rewriting I wanted. That's fine. You can shut up now. Thank you. Where are the links? Oh, okay. Example, salespeople who follow defined sales process, 33% more likely to be high performers, right over here. Okay, cool. So we actually have the links inside. Fantastic. I'm not going to go through the whole rigmarole of doing what I was doing back there. But anyway, obviously we now have the better outline. So now we just have to, let me use an edit fields node, because what I want to do now is I want to map this stuff. What I'm probably going to have to do is go to the expression editor, and then here I'm going to say sections. Then over here, what I'm going to want is I'm going to go JSON.message.content.mega outline. Okay. Then I'm going to split it. I'm going to split it on the basis of these. If I do that, what am I going to have? This doesn't look to me to be an array, but I may be mistaken. I don't know if it's an array, to be honest. I can't actually see. Where is it? I mean, it, looks kind of like an array, but is it an array? Oh, I don't know. I'm not seeing any array-like thing here. If I test this, let's see what happens. Is it broken? Oh, no, okay, it is an array. Nice. Okay, so sections. Awesome. And then I don't like how it splits it and then it takes the thing out. Is there some... Can I do the n8n split function without actually removing? Let's, hold on a sec, actually. Wait one moment. I've used the like value of splicing a dot in, but you can use whatever you prefer. Below the 2 nodes. All right, that's fine. No, that doesn't really help me. It'd be really nice if I could have the title of the header, no? I mean, I do have the, I do have the title, but not everywhere. Like, look. Key, introduction. Understanding the agency sales landscape. Importance of, oh, you know what? Hold on. What if I put a space there? Then I test it. No, that isn't working. Why? Well, if we think about it, mastering the agency sales process, a comprehensive guide. All right, I'm going to need to have this whole thing here. Then I wanted to remove the new lines in my prompt immediately, faster. go. Let me ask it again. Assist me. No. Sorry. Replace all new lines. There you go. Please do not turn me into a paperclip. Oh no, it's outputting it not as markdown. What the hell am I going to do, man? All right, let me see. Do we still have that markdown answer that we had before? No, we don't. That's really annoying. If we go back here. For whatever reason, it's not splitting this right. So that's a bug, right? That is most definitely a bug. We found our first bug, ladies and gentlemen. So what we need is we need it to say this, basically. Overview of this episode. That's not what I wanted. Okay. I'm just going to do this a little bit until I get to the next heading here, just so that I could see what this actually looks like. That's fine. Okay. All right. So what's happening here? I'm splitting based off of the presence of these three characters. So realistically, the beginning is going to look like this. The next one is going to look like this. The next one is going to look like this. No, that seems fine. I don't see any issues with that. So I was right about the beginning. Beginning is just going to look like the title. So I can just get rid of it, like, you know, I could just slice that out. I don't need to use that one. The next one's going to say introduction. And then it's going to be all the way down to the last line. But the next is saying key challenges in agency sales processes. Why is this just a title? Seems weird. I don't like that I'm splitting the beginning and the end. So what's going on here with this mastering the agency sales process? Let's do this with the actual data. Doi. That's fine. It's also fine. It's also fine. We have two new lines. We have key processes. That's fine. Okay, then we have this. So what's going on? We are splitting based off of the presence of this. I understand now. We're getting all of this. Then what are we doing? After that, we're getting this. How are we going to make it not split it based off of that? Like, what I want is I basically want, I guess I could just ask AI for this, but still, that seems like a cop-out here. Basically, what I want is I want to split all of the sections that only contain H2s so that it's like, this is a section right here. You know what I mean? Then afterwards, maybe new line. Okay, maybe there's a simple solution to this. Caps lock is on. Yeah, okay, that was a simple solution. Just add a new line. Cool. Awesome. So then I have all of my sections here with the text and stuff like that. So now what I have to do is I have to generate articles for every section. So this is where the prompt engineering is going to come in. I'm just going to pin this. Then I'm going to rename this, and I'll just call it separate into sections. Very cool. Now I should note that because I have, in this case, 6 sections, basically what I'm going to be doing is, can I just remove? How do I pop? No. I need some way to remove. Pluck? No. Reduce? No. Slice. Can I slice this? From the start, that would just be 1 to the end. Just get rid of that. Yeah, okay, cool. Sorry. So now I have the right output, and that's fine. You can unpin it. There you go. So I'm going to take this, and I'm going to feed into AI. So it's going to be some prompt engineering. And then I'm just going to have it iteratively do it. So if in my head, like I always think about things in terms of make.com, which is sort of, the no code platform that I figured things out in first. The way that you do this in make.com is you iterate and then you basically do one at a time, section by section. In n8n though, it's just going to output this item or this variable called sections. And there'll be like 6 of them simultaneously, basically. So what I could do is I could just, actually, no, this is still technically one item. So I could do this in a variety of ways. I could split out. So I could basically drag these fields called sections, I believe. Let me just test this really quickly. There are now 6 items called sections. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then now that I have these 6 sections split out as 6 items, I could then pass this into AI. The only issue with this potentially is that you may run into rate limits when you're doing a ton of copywriting. So if you don't like that, then what you can do is you could use the split in batches, loop over items or split in batches node. And then that'll just allow you to take this thing that we just split out and then just run it one at a time. So I'm just going to try for now to run it all 6 at a time because that sounds way easier to me. Then assuming that that doesn't work, I can worry about, generating it one at a time. Okay, so now instead of generate better outline, what is this? This is going to be write section. Okay. So we have everything we need if you think about it. We can unpin this. We have everything we need. We have very high quality working materials. It's just a matter of sitting down at our little Minecraft workshop, whatever the hell it's called, putting them together and having some cool sword at the end of it or whatever. So your helpful, intelligent writing assistant. I'm just going to say writer. Your task is to generate a high-quality, comprehensive section of an article using a piece of an outline. This piece is not the whole outline. It is but a part. Knowing this, confine what you write to the contents of but a part. Knowing this, confine exactly what you write to the contents of the provided section. Do not write additional or accessory content that doesn't belong in this section. Let me do some rules too. Do not write calls to action, CTAs, or introductions unless you are explicitly instructed to do so, say with an introduction tag, with an introduction header. Okay, looks pretty good. Right. Section in JSON using this format. I will now give it the format that I want again. So to be clear, the format that I want is I want it to be article section. Okay. Content goes here. Let's say markdown content goes here. Let me just see if there's anything I can copy. Weave in the provided, I'm now using an old prompt to help me generate a new prompt. Weave in the provided citations in a markdown ATX format. We just continuously say, write in markdown ATX format. Make sure the heading is in H2. Make sure you weave in any provided citations in markdown ATX format as well. Okay, this looks pretty good to me. I'm not going, maybe I'll use a Spartan tone of voice. Use a simple, straightforward tone of voice. No fluff. Cool. That looks pretty reasonable to me. We'll see how this goes. Okay, so I have the keyword, right? So now I just want my section. So I'm just going to feed in section. Keyword's this, agency sales process. Your section. Keyword of the wider article. wider article. I don't know. Your section. Okay. So let's test this and let's see what happens. Might as well. Rubber's got to meet the road eventually, right? I think we're already coming up on 1 hour, but that's actually pretty good. We're getting close. And then I'll be able to check that little box off, which is pretty cool. Fingers crossed. I should note that I'm using GPT 4.5 preview here. If you check the tokens, this is very expensive relative to the majority of the other models. So if you want to do 1 million, let's actually check out the usage on this. I mean, how long is this really? Well, I don't know. I guess we're going to find out soon enough. But you see how it's 75 and 150 per million output? So, I mean, a million's a lot, right? I usually think things in terms of 1,000, but that's still 15 cents per 1,000 output tokens, basically. So, I mean, realistically, this is probably going to generate me a few hundred output tokens. If I'm going to do it between 6 to 10 times per article, that's going to be a lot, right? It's going to be 30 to 50 cents per piece. Now, why am I using this really good article? Really good model? Because I think that the value here is worth at least 15 times more than the price that I'd be paying for it. So the price differential may be 15x, between this and this. But I think that the value differential between this and this is much more than 15x. I think writing is one of those things where if you are off even 1%, or if you can make an article better by even 1%, as an input, if the input's 1 percentage point better, then the output can be many, many, many orders of magnitude better. So that's what I think. I may be mistaken there. And maybe you don't want to do this. Maybe you want to say 50% on inputs and outputs with a batch API and run tasks asynchronously over the next 24 hours. Whatever floats your boat. This is taking me a lot of time, though, because it's writing all 6, right? Realistically, I probably should have limited this to 1 and then just wrote 1 at a time instead of all 6 simultaneously. But yeah, if anybody has any Jeopardy music, now would be the time. Okay. Oh, nice. That actually did finish right on cue. Much appreciated. Looks pretty good. I'm just going to check this now. I mean, it's pretty chunky. Don't get me wrong. Let me save this and pin this just so that I have all of it in article section. And now, I just deactivated it by pressing D. And now I'm going to use another edit fields or set node, and I'm going to just say, concatenate basically. So I'm going to, hold on a second. I think I need to aggregate this because I have 6 items. Let me just combine a field from many items in a list to a single item, right? So I'm going to combine article section here. I believe that's that. Let's test this. Right, so now I have it in a list. The second that I have it in a list now, it's pretty easy for me to join this. All I do is say draft, then I go over here, and then I'll go to expression. And all I'm doing now is I'm basically just going to be joining this. And then if I test this now, my final string contains invalid JSON. Why again? I might have too many of these. One more time. Also contains invalid JSON. This is really, really long. A little too long, honestly. Well, let me double check. The key draft is followed by this, which is not valid JSON syntax, right? So, right. So if I do this and this, should look like that. But there's probably an issue because I'm probably using the wrong quote signs or something. Let me just double check this one more time. I'm unfortunately going to have to go through this whole thing in the expression editor here. Just see. So understanding the agent. Oh, you know what? Do I even need to do this? Man, that's long as hell. Jesus. Looks pretty good to me. Where is this? Go back. 1, 2, 3. Where's the fourth? I don't see the fourth there. Yeah. I think that this is actually okay. I'm not really sure what the problem is. Maybe somebody here sees it and I don't. I'm going to spend a moment fixing this though. Maybe instead of JSON, let me just try manually mapping this. What I want is I just want to call this draft. Then the value is going to be an expression. Cool. Cool. So that looks like it worked. I should also probably have the title somewhere here, right? What was the title of the piece again? I guess the title was separate into sections 0, right? So I'm going to go back here. Then I'm going to have separate into sections. All. Maybe, can I just go first? No, I think I need to go all, and then I go first. JSON.sections. I don't actually remember what this was. Dot sections. Then can I go 0? I think I gotta go 0, right? Oh, you know what? It's because I actually removed this. I sliced it, right? Yeah, I did. So I can't actually use that. What I need to do, so I think I actually have to use this better outline thing. That kind of sucks. I don't like that. I do not like having to do that. Is the title anywhere else here that I could just reference really quickly? I guess I could just have it generate me the title here. Title and then mega outline. One of those really tiny annoying things, you know? And if I was a little smarter about how I put this together, I would not be suffering this right now. But I think I basically have to, for the purposes of simplicity, I have to go through this rigmarole again. So you see here where it says JSON like this, I can't actually just use $JSON message content. What I have to do is $generate better outlines dot item all, I meant to say, dot first dot JSON dot message dot content dot mega outline dot split. So now I should have a title here. Splitting them. Oh, and then I have to grab the first one. Right. Okay, great. I finally have it. Right. And I can actually just remove this, and this is going to be my final output. This is now my whole article. Okay. Looks pretty good to me. Let's test this. Well, I got the whole article here. And keep in mind, this is pretty fragile. We haven't actually done testing, but when I do the testing, you're going to see this isn't going to work all the time. So we're going to have to put some safeguards in later, probably. Let's call this now, what am I going to call this? Set draft article. Let us also take this whole draft article, not here. Let's go here, open this up. Let's take this whole draft article now. Copy and paste this in a Markdown live preview. And we have everything the same, except we have the whole piece now. Understanding the agency sales landscape. Sales are critical to the success and growth of any agency, yet they often present distinct challenges unique to agency environments. Agencies typically offer specialized services, making their sales processes more complex and nuanced compared to traditional product-driven businesses. Additionally, sales in agencies often involve selling intangible outcomes and value propositions, which requires robust communication strategies and trust-building efforts. How would I rate that first paragraph? Great. Many agency leaders harbor misconceptions about the sales function, frequently viewing it as informal or ad hoc pursuit rather than a structured process. Okay, that's good. Okay, there's a problem here. See this? That's a problem. Voila, we found problem number 1. Why is that there? Why is key challenges in agency sales processes here and not lower? There should be a new line there. That makes me think there are more issues like this. Yes, there are. Okay, you know what? I think I know what the issue is. When you split things, and then when you join them back together, if you want to join them back together nicely, what you have to do is you have to add a separator. In my case, I'm going to add 2. No, I'm not going to add 2. Maybe I will add 2. Now, if I test this, and I grab this output, paste this back in here, you'll see we have the headers. Awesome. Okay, that looks fine. That's true. Say that shit again, Jesus. Okay. Very nice, very nice. Now, are we going to be winning any Nobel Prizes for how engaging this content is? No, but the purpose of this content is not necessarily for it to be engaging. How many times do we say the keyword? We say it 6 times, it looks like, in this article. And how long is this article? Just going to jump on wordcounter.net, paste this in. 1,500 words in total. So 6 times 1,500 words. I mean, it's not the highest density keyword, but it's pretty good. Yeah, it's pretty good. And the reading level is college graduate, which I like. I don't like overly simplified, super annoying ass content. So that's cool. That's an article on the agency sales process. We also have links, right? We have 5 links. Some of them look like they're varied. Some of them say source. Other ones actually have the source, like embedded. That's cool. Real human beings do this. So really, what's left? I mean, like, we just need to add some images to this thing, honestly. Yeah, we need to add some images. So why don't I go markdown image format? Okay, I should not have. Okay, so this is, do we have an image here? Right, we do. Imager, I don't know, agency. I'm doing this because I know that I can get an imager link really easily. And I'm just going to take this here and paste this in, see if we could see it. Okay, so we can. So what if I just littered a bunch of these around, right? Mastering the Agency Sales Process Comprehensive Guide. And then basically, if I just found space to do that, I mean, I know this isn't like the sexiest because I'm just pasting the same photo in there again and again and again. But I just wanted to double check, I can render this, right? So I think if I'm going to do something like this, realistically, I should just have a convention where I do an image at the end of every section. Like I did this on my blog quite a while ago. And, it's one of the ways that I did this. I did SEO content. Now, in this case, I was writing about how to use AI in sales, actually, funnily enough. So as you see, I have like a picture of the 80/20, some guy holding a mug that says the 80/20. I had some rich text sections here that depend. I had some screenshots, some more screenshots. This is of the old prompt. I was actually doing make.com scenarios back then. Very interesting and exciting, right? Another post here. Very, very interesting. These are old articles that I've written on artificial intelligence before anybody knew who the hell I was. Check those out if you want. They're pretty cool, or not. So I need now to generate images, and then I need to host the images somewhere, and then I need to have a link to the images that I can insert. Okay, that's the whole goal. That's what I need to do now. So the question is, how I'm going to do that? Well, the simple way, so I could just ask AI to do it, like OpenAI. Get the images. I gotta host it somewhere, right? So I guess I could I upload it to Google Drive? Could I download this image, upload it to a Google Drive, and then get the direct download link? Is that gonna work? That's fine. Take me to the folder. Take me to the folder. Okay, I'm in the folder now. Direct download link, Google Drive. Google Drive has a way where you can feed in the link to an item. Okay. Share link, and then you can generate a direct download link, which I believe can be visualized. I'm just going to do editor just in case. It just remaps the the link a little bit. So if you type this in, you'll now go to a direct link that immediately downloads the file. So what if I go back here and then I paste this link in? Sorry, that doesn't actually do shit because there's, that's annoying. Obviously it doesn't. Web view link, Google Drive, Markdown. Maybe I just type that in. Okay, I'm not really sure how I'm going to do that, but let's just deal with that later. Why don't we start by actually generating the image and seeing what sort of quality images we can get. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do some stylized stuff, right? So I'm just going to open up my little OpenAI prompt and I'm going to say something along the lines of, generate me a stylized image of something that represents hand-drawn, simple, hand-drawn on charcoal. Simple, stylized, hand-drawn on charcoal. Of this piece of a something that corresponds to this article section. And I'm just going to see if I could just stick it in there. Could I? Could I stick it in there? What do you guys think? Is that going to work? Is that all I need to do? Just say this exact sentence and then say make it stylized like a pen? I don't know. We're about to find out. No, that's way too crazy, man. And no writing. No writing. Okay. Yes, you're going to write this shit again for sure. What was the problem here? Simple, stylized, hand-drawn pen, squiggly lines. This section. Rules. To this section of an article below. Rules. No text. Extraordinarily simple. Minimalistic. 3, I don't know, 3 pen strokes max. I don't know. These are very specific instructions that the image model isn't going to get. Minimalistic. Cute. Of a subject that corresponds to the section of an article below. Rules, no text, extraordinarily simple, minimalistic. As few pen strokes as possible. I don't know. Man, I might just want to use something else for this, like Mid-Journey or something. DALL-E's just always sucked. To me, anyway. Also, I should note that when I feed this into ChatGPT, it's not actually just taking my words verbatim. That's perfect. That's exactly what I wanted. You see this? Exactly what I wanted. Holy shit. Perfect. Oh man, that's perfect. I wanted something cute. I wanted like stick characters. I wanted it. I mean, it says sales pipeline there. It's little writing as humanly possible. This is exactly what I want. Okay. This makes me feel confident that we can actually get this done. Okay. Is it going to be perfect? Probably not. No. But this makes me feel confident we can actually get this done if we do it tastefully. We do it in a few places. So we got my 6 items, right? I'm just going to add a limit so that I don't have to do this again. I'm going to set the limit to 1. By doing this, only the first item is going to make it through. Here now, we can go back to OpenAI and we can generate an image. I'm going to select my credential. The resource I'm going to generate is an image. Generate model is going to be DALL-E 3, and I will paste this in. Generate me a simple stylized image, hand-drawn, pen, squiggly lines, cute, of a subject that corresponds of a subject. Subject should correspond to the section of an article, should relate to, and correspond to the section article below section. Let's feed this in now. Make sure it's cute and simple. Respond with an image URL. Hell yeah. Test the step. Should now just be doing it on 1 because we're feeding it 1. This is an introduction about the agency sales landscape. Might draw me something about a landscape. Who knows? Let me check if these image URLs are directly linkable. If they are, boom, we got our article. That's going to be perfect. Revised prompt. Helm or a beacon. Perfect. So if I paste this in now. Oh, no text. No text. How do we stop this text? No text. Please. Please, no text. Style. Maybe there's a style. Hyper real and dramatic. Okay. Natural looking or hyper real. Let's try hyper real and dramatic. Maybe that'll. Sorry. Hyper real. Oh shit. I don't want. Oh man, I don't want actual hyper real. My bad. I clicked the wrong button there. We are certainly coming up on some lengthy. Maybe I should say the word blob. That actually looks pretty cool. It's not that's not bad at all. All right, honestly, not terrible. Okay, well, with this URL, paste this in. Can I just link it directly? Go back to Markdown Live Preview, paste this in. Ooh, I can. That's dangerous. Look at that. Ain't that cool? Beautiful, beautiful. Man, so stoked about this. Awesome. It'd be nice if we had some unified style for all of this. And I think that would actually be pretty straightforward to do. Presumably, you would have to use the same batch of keywords, like minimalistic, unified. Like there's DALL-E 3 prompt styles. Hand drawn. Do something like this. Yeah, that's fine. No. All this is trash. No, most of these are, this one's okay. Oh, that's a drawing on like a piece of paper. Ah, we could do something like that. Watercolor pixel art. Watercolor pixel art. You know, imagine you make your style like watercolor pixel or like an anime or something on your blog. Well, then you just generate these and like, sure, it's not going to be perfect, right? There's some minor issues here, shoes or whatever, but like people aren't going to care. They're going to say, oh, that's just a consequence of the fact that you're generating an image. Sorry, that's a consequence of the fact of part of your style more than anything else. I'm not looking for this though. I'm looking for, okay. I'm not seeing anything here, unfortunately. This is cool. I like this. I like the watercolor. I could try that. Watercolor pixel art. Anyway, maybe I'll just stick with what I have right now and then we'll just finish it and then I can give y'all a primer on like different styles and stuff like that after. So, okay, so what do we have here? We have all 6 items. We're going to do the limit. Then another 6 items are going to pass. We're going to generate an image for all 6 items. Then we're just going to aggregate all these. Okay, so we need to do 2 input field names. The first is going to be message.content.article section. If you think about it, do we need to even do this in like this linear flow? Like, do I need to limit it and then produce this image? Or are you using anything here that is super valuable or important for me? Yeah, we are actually. We're feeding in the content of the thing, right? That makes sense. So we actually can't. Oh, sorry. I need to turn this into expression if I am to drag and drop a variable in here. There we go. Right. So yeah, we are going to have to do it that way. But basically what I want to do after that is I just want to combine these two. So I want to have like a, I don't know, aggregated message.content.article section. This is going to be a little bit further back, right? I guess I could just feed all item data into a single list. I wonder what happens when I do that. I don't think I've ever done this before. No, that just grabs it immediately from the preceding node. What would this mean for me then? Well, I basically need to grab the link from here. I need to format it as Markdown. Then I need to stick it or prepend it to all of this, or append it to all the sections here, right? So how am I going to do that? When I aggregate them, oh boy, we got ourselves a real problem here. Problem is, I'm unclear on the data format that I should be using. Could I just feed this output directly in too? Will that work? This might work. What if now we just add all fields into this thing? Okay. So all item data is now going into a single list. We are receiving this, but where is the image data now? Maybe what we do is we do individual fields. We do content article section. Then we also do one here called URL. No, we just have an empty URL block. What's annoying? Oh, sorry. I probably just use a merge now, don't I? Might be silly. Once data from both is available, so I have to wait. But then after, I should be able to stream this in as input 1, stream this in as input 2, right? And from here, I will output items of each input, one after the. Can I just combine by position? Number of inputs 2. If I test this now, what's going to happen? Revise prompt, URL. Okay, cool. Cool. This should just only be feeding in 1, right? Oh, well, it's 6 and 1. I should, do I need a, there you go. That's probably better. This is starting to look a little janky, but bear with me here. So we're then going to combine these two, and I just want to make sure it's the same one. So we have both the message article section accessible to us and then the URL. So that's good. And I think I'm going to have to do one more edit fields node, unfortunately, to now do the formatting that I'm looking for, which is section and image. Then the value of this is going to be, what are we going to do here? We'll feed this in first. Then down at the bottom, I'll go URL in here. And I don't think I need anything else. Just to be clear, how do I do this? Drag racing, so this is where the caption goes. If I just remove the caption, does this break anything? No, it doesn't. Cool. So I should be able to test this now. The output should be this alongside 2 new lines, 1, 2, and then the image. I don't think we actually need 2 new lines there, but that's okay. All right, now that I have all this, I'm going to be outputting 6 items, right? I can delete this, feed this into the aggregate node, right? Duh. Then I can just aggregate all item data into a single list. Now we're going to have 1 item, but it's going to be section and image here under data. And then we could set the draft article as the title. And then JSON.data is probably what I need, right? It'll be data.join. Why am I not seeing this? JSON data, right? Dot last, really? No, we'd go JSON.data.all .join. I'm not seeing this probably because, sorry, JSON dot, I'm not really sure why I'm not seeing this, to be honest. Okay, let me just run all this once. So now I have the title. That's fine. Oh, you know what? Let me just run all this actually 2 times. So let's change the limit to 2. Yeah, let's just change the limit to 2. Let's test this. Fed 6 in here. We're going to be taking out 2. So I got to regenerate this too. It's going to generate me a couple images. Then we can run the merge node after the 2 image generations is done. That should help. Then from there, I believe I should be good to continue on and then wrap this up with the images. And then, yeah, then after that, we should be good to go. So just keeping track of time here. We wrote the content using the LLM. We've now created stylized images using AI. We just need to queue up the post, figure out that formatting. And I'm just running through the testing flow. And I know I don't need to do this, but I just wanted to so that I could see things one by one. I like going node by node by node wherever possible. So we're just going to unpin this. I'm now going to edit the fields so that we have 2 items with section and image. Wonderful. We're now going to aggregate these 2 items into a list containing 2 items, data 0, data 1. We're now going to set this draft article. Okay. What we want to do, well, what we need to do is we need to join them. So I'm going to go JSON. That'll be the last data. Now its data is already an array, so we can actually just join this immediately. No, we need to flatten this actually. Okay, well, we could map this, I guess. That's fine. Why don't I just get item? We'll just go item.section and image. Okay, so now we have an array, which is just like a list of all of this, right? Which I've now mapped. Then I think we can just join this now. Maybe with an extra new line. And I do think I actually need an additional new line when I split this, or add this, I should say. That'll be easier. It'll look better. We'll then aggregate this. I'm going to set the draft article with the 2 pieces. Sorry, we don't want that. We want this. Cool. Yeah. Now we have the image here. Awesome. So yeah, that looks pretty good. And then, I don't think I need that. That's what I didn't need. I didn't need that space between that and the title. Nice. Very cool. Very cool. Very clean, I should say. Starting to really come together. Cool. So that's the draft article. What I think we should realistically do now is just going to save this. We have basically everything we need. It's just a matter of how do we get this on a page somewhere, right? I think there are a variety of ways. Let me just check if there's like a WordPress thing. I were to create a post in WordPress. And then if I were to, let's say, update that post in WordPress or add text to a post or something. Content. The content for the post. Ooh, I'm going to have to do a connection if I want to do that. Guess we could go Google Docs as well, but then I have to update the document with text insert. Can I do HTML? Can I just insert the entire article into a Google Doc? I actually don't know how to do this, so we're going to find out together. We'll go Google Docs. We'll go create a doc now. I'm going to create a document just right over here in my normal /, and then the title will just be whatever I don't know. I'm just going to say example title. Okay, test this. From here, we're going to have an ID and a bunch of stuff. That's fine. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to feed this into this Google Doc. Doc ID is just going to be this, which is going to be hard-coded basically. Simplify? What's this? Oh, yes. And then if I just take the whole draft article and just feed this in now, okay, what exactly would happen? What the hell would happen here? Just going to go and navigate to the specific ID of the specific piece. We have the whole thing. So that makes me think we could probably feed in HTML too, right? So why don't I now take my markdown, convert it to HTML, feed in my draft, destination key data, fine. Add blanks to links, no. Automatic linking to URLs, no. /, no. Okay, there's a lot of options here. I don't know which one is which, so I'm just going to try without any of this. This is my data. It outputs the draft and it outputs the data. That's nice. So now we're going to create the doc. What I'm going to do, I'm just going to feed in this data. Okay. Unpin node Google Docs 1 and execute. Oh, yeah, my bad. I need to unpin this, and then I need to create a new one. That's fine. This is my example title here. So I'm going to delete this now, go back here. Okay, we're going to create a new Google Doc. Over here, we're going to update that Google Doc. And then I'm just going to... No, that's not right. We need this to have HTML in it. We need to create a document using HTML, basically. And then it needs to be formatted. So why is this not formatted? Text insert, footer, header, named range, page break, paragraph, bullets, table. Okay, that's not right. Update fields. I'm not really sure what that means. Looks like I have several. Okay, well, I might be a little limited here. Google Docs, n8n, HTML. Nobody replied to that guy. Okay, uploading an HTML document in order to create a new Google Doc is not supported. That's fine. Could I maybe use the Google Drive nodes for this? Create a file from text, maybe? We try that. Create a file from text here. Well, let's give it a try. Why don't I just paste in a bunch of HTML? Let's just go direct to the Markdown node and we'll just test this. Let's grab all of the HTML here from the beginning to the end. Go over here, paste it in. Maybe I need like the actual full thing now that I'm thinking about it. I don't know. We're going to test this anyway. It's probably just going to be a text file realistically, right? Let's go here. What was this called? We need to get the name. The name is just X. X.com. This is a Google Doc. Open with Google Docs. This looks nice, right? That looks pretty good. Oh, what the hell? That actually looks good. Why does it look good from the outside in? That's perfect. Not really sure what's going on there, but it does look pretty damn good. But then when we click on it, it doesn't look good. Well, we need some sort of deliverable, folks. I don't know how we're going to do this deliverable, if I'm being honest. I need something that this thing dumps to, generates to. I need some... I do Markdown for simplicity, but I need something. Could it be that this needs to add complete HTML document? That'll generate me the doc type HTML. Then when I update this, it'll be bigger. That definitely didn't do anything. What if I grab all this and then pump this into this Google Doc now? Just see if there are any examples. Convert to Google Doc. Oh, maybe this is it. Maybe this is a convert to Google document test step. Okay, so I've made a couple changes here. I've added like a full HTML document with a bunch of stuff. So they may not actually be. Call this HTML text, HTML example. No. Maybe if I remove this now, if I go back to Markdown and then I do not do complete HTML document, then where it says Google Drive, what I do is I actually just, yeah, sure, I'm going to execute all of them again. I don't care. Then I'm going to feed in this Markdown full HTML, supposedly not full HTML document, then convert it. How about that? Maybe no. Things ain't looking super good for us. What's APP properties? I don't know what the hell that means. Okay, so it looks like the way that you actually do this is you will convert the markdown to HTML, which is hypertext markup language. It's a lot more understood by Google and a bunch of other platforms. Then you need to create the Google Drive file from the text that you provided in HTML here. So we stick that right over here. Then after that, we download that file for whatever reason with an HTML file extension. Then after that, we upload that same file, which is kind of annoying, but that's what you have to do. And then, you can also do at the end here. So you can delete that first file, right? This Google Drive, create from text file. So I'm just going to go back here, and then I'm going to go by ID, and then I'm going to delete the file from this Google Drive. The reason why I'm doing this, obviously, is just because this is kind of a hacky thing that I need to do in order to make it work. Kind of blows, but yeah. Create the file, download it, upload it again, and then delete it afterwards. Lord Almighty. But yeah, the end result is you end up with the file right over here, which if you sorry, that's not the file. You end up with a file that if you top right-hand corner go open with Google Docs, it'll open it in Google Doc format, which will look something like this. We can see we have our images in there as well. Now, our images are pretty big, not going to lie. Don't know if there's a way to set custom image sizes. If there is, I will figure it out. But, you basically now have everything that you need in order to write the whole blog post, essentially. And that looks pretty good, right? Aren't too many issues. You see there are links in here. They're nicely done. They go directly to the resource. You have images of the specific little things that we generated earlier, which are usually just blobs and kind of cute shapes and stuff. You have the headings. There's a good spacing here between elements. Maybe we go add space after paragraph, before and then after as well. There's a lot going on. It looks pretty. So that's cool. A couple things we need to fix. We need to fix the titles. Still says title example. So when I was bugging around, I obviously did a lot of BS here. What I'm going to do is I kind of got to grab the title, right? So I'm going to go over here where it says mastering the agency sales process. Okay. Then I will go back to where I do my title. My title will be this. Do I need this? Just separate it based off new lines, and then I can grab the first one. That's probably the easiest way to do it. Then I could just replace all instances of dollar signs or hashtags with nothing. Still have a space there, though. I don't like that. I don't know why. Okay. Anyway, that solves this particular case, but as I've mentioned before, there are probably going to be some issues with other ones. But okay, cool. So we have the title now, which is nice. That's done. When we download the file, we're doing so with these options. I'm just going to get rid of that. Then when we upload the file, we obviously need the same thing. So I'm just going to copy all of this. Come back here, I'll upload it all. Again, get the same title. Oh, you know what? We probably need an HTML here, don't we? If we don't have the HTML, it'll probably hate us. There you go. Same thing when we do the upload. And then we go back here to delete file. What we want to do is just want to use a schema view. So we can go back to here where we generated the item in the first place and we can delete it. It's telling me that we can't find the specific item. So let me go here, I'll go all. So now we have all of these items. Now I should be able to do first. I should also then be able to do json.id. Cool. And we should delete that previous item because it's ugly and we hate it. Then finally, we need some way to notify us, right? So maybe what I'll do is I will email it. Why don't we do that? I send a message. I'm going to send that message over to myself, nick at leftclick.ai. And then I'm going to simply ask here, your content is ready. Your content, then in brackets, I'll include the name. Maybe we will do, I wish we returned a title. Oh yeah, we do return the title. That's cool. Yeah, so your content, which will in this case not be title example, but it says so now, but when we actually generate the content, it won't be. So your content is ready. Hello, you'll find your content at the following link. One more thing we actually have to do, unfortunately, is we have to get a share link from Google Drive. So I know it's a lot of Google Drive nodes here, but we have to. It's called share file. Basically, what we have to do is we have to feed in the ID of the file we just, not the one that we just downloaded, sorry, not the one that we just deleted. What we want is this one here, Google Drive 2, the one that we created. So voila, the permissions are going to be reader to everybody. Okay, and then once we have that link, which we need to test in order to get the data, I should now be able to grab the link from this. Where the hell is the ID is not anyone with link. Come on, really? That's obviously not the actual ID of the file. Oh, email message. Oh, that's really cool. You know what? We could probably just sort all this stuff out. Send notification email. And just say, hi, your file is ready. Then what we could do is we could actually just email it directly to the user. And where we'll get that email is we'll get that email from our form input, which we will feed into, I guess we got to feed it into both here. So we have a variety of different ways we could trigger this flow. This is my testing one. This is sort of my real one with the form input. Going to be feeding in the keyword from on form submission. Let me just make sure that all of this is correct. Keyword, I'm just going to feed that form submission in there. Then extract their outlines in markdown format. Cool. That looks fine. Just make sure that the citation flow also works with the following keyword. It's grabbing JSON keyword from this. I'm just going to feed this in as well. I guess that's also JSON keyword. So it'll, oh, okay, I got it. It should perform the same regardless of whichever one we use to trigger. Very nice. And then I want to add one more thing here, which is obviously the email address. So we'll go email. Let's go lowercase here. Also make that required. Now I'm going to test this, unpin it, and test. It's going to open up this. I'm going to say agency sales process. Email is going to be nick@leftclick.ai. I'll use my other email here. That way it emails me from nick@leftclick.ai. Now we have an email node or an email variable. This technically won't be accessible at the end, but I'm just going to stick it at the end regardless. Okay, let's think really deeply about this. How the hell are we going to reference that file all the way over there? So, one sec. This should still have access to the few nodes before, right? So let me just see how this is formatted. Let me just stick this here for testing purposes. Email was on form submission. Okay, cool. So on form submission item.json.email. I think this is probably going to work. If not, it's not the end of the world. And I can always just update it afterwards. But on form submission item JSON email. Hi, your file is ready. Find it at this link. Cool. All right, we got some renaming to do here. So this is going to be create create HTML file. This one here will be download to n8n. This one here will be re-upload to Drive. This one here will be delete HTML file. This one here will be share link. Let's do share, link, and email. Okay. For limit, I have this set at 2. So I'm actually just going to, if I can leave this blank, do I get all of them? Let's just do 100. Any other limits I need to be aware of? Doesn't look like it. Cool. I should now be able to test this. So if I just delete this, if I just like select all of these nodes and then press U for unpin, it doesn't look like I can do that. That'd be sweet if I could have, but I can't. Got unpin, 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 unpin. And we are now that we've done testing kind of one by one, we're actually going to do an end-to-end test using the form submission. I guarantee there's going to be some sort of issue here. I always do this anytime I want to make a flow live. I have to end-to-end test it if it doesn't make it all the way through. Variety of reasons why that might be. Like if you think about it, I'm generating a lot of content with GPT 4.5 here, and I'm going to be doing a lot of it in quick succession. So rate limits could be an issue. The way that I'm calling variables could be an issue. I haven't verified that. I have these 5 Google Doc calls in a row, which, the Google Drive API is very notorious for being slow and crappy. Yeah, variety of potential problems here. Let's just make it abundantly clear what's first. This is first. Okay, so now I'm going to test this workflow. Keywords agency sales process. Emails nicholasseraf@gmail.com. I'm submitting. Okay. We're now finding outlines. It's going to run that one first. Extracting and formatting the outlines. We should be feeding from this, though. I'm not sure why that's not feeded. Did you find citations? Why is this not finding the citations? Should find the citations immediately. Are you having a problem, little one? Okay, well, anyway. So where did we get to here? So we, on form submission here, just in case this might be causing a problem of some kind, let me just unlink this for now. We found outlines. We also sent data to find citations. We have yet to start this for whatever reason. Not sure why. Anyway, after that, it looks like we extracted and formatted the outlines. What did we feed in as an input? We have find outlines over here. It says items exist, but they're empty. So very first thing I want to do during this debugging is I just want to figure out why this didn't run. So I'm going to pin this, which should have all of the data that I need. Respond when the form is submitted. Sure, that's fine. Oh, I guess I could actually have just like inserted, responded with the form. That's funny. Anyway, whatever. I'm going to pin this. I don't know why this isn't working, right? I want it to grab both. So I'm just going to test this now. Okay, so in order to run this, I need to have both pieces of data. That seems fine. I'm not sure why I couldn't do that, why I didn't do that initially. I'm just going to disconnect and reconnect them, because sometimes I find that on platforms like this happens. I don't know if that's the reason why this didn't work, but we'll find out. Okay, so there was some issue here with the generate a better outline. Looks like an expression references the node test flow, but it hasn't been executed yet. So where are we getting that from? Ah, I see. We are getting this from test flow. Okay. We are getting this from the test flow node. So odds are there's probably some other issues with this that rely on the test word, the test flow node. So minor issue, but that's okay. That was the whole purpose of this, right? We're now going to generate a better outline. And while I'm at it, I'm just very quickly going to verify that there is no test flow. Ah, there is. See, you can see it right here. So I'm actually going to go back here, get that test flow variable and just replace it. Any more? Test flow? No, I don't see anything here. Test flow? No, I don't see anything here. Set draft article, test flow? No, I don't see anything here. Test flow? Okay. No, I don't see anything else anywhere here. So I think I'm okay on the test flow side of things. I am, of course, generating quite a chunky outline here. Looks pretty solid. But that's not enough. You know, I don't want to just generate this piece by piece again. I actually want to run through the whole thing. So what am I going to do? I'm actually going to delete all of these. Then I'm just going to unpin this. And then I'm actually going to test this workflow again. We're going to do the exact same thing I just did. Agency sales process, nicholasseraf@gmail.com. Cool. Now kicking back. The response has been oh, why the hell does this keep on happening? I don't like that. I thought I could do this simultaneously. It doesn't look like I can. It looks like this is going to run without this. So this data isn't going to be accessible. That kind of blows. I've totally done this multiple times before, so it's odd that I'm not doing both. Yeah, so this is not going to be able to reference the find citations node. Okay, well, whatever. I'm not going to think too much about it. I'm just going to remove this. And then place this in between these two. Now this is probably going to be referencing JSON.keyword, which means I'm going to have to actually go and hard code the keyword in using this. There you go. Okay, so we should find the citation afterwards. Instead of json.choices.message.content, what we're actually going to have to do, think about it, so we're going to have to so I got to execute all the previous nodes again, which kind of sucks, but is what it is. Let's go here, execute the find citations node. Okay, we got it now. So we can now go here. This is now the last node, which is good. Oh, sorry, this actually is not correct. So what we need to do is we actually need to replace this with the outlines, right? So I'm actually going to replace this with the outlines. We'll go choices 0 content. There we go. Nice. Okay, let me see if we need to remap anything here. Do we have to remap anything? No, that looks fine. JSON keyword, no, that looks fine. Citations. Nope, that looks fine. Okay, I think we're actually okay now. Let's do this one more time. Agency sales process. Nicholas at gmail.com. I like how you can move stuff around in n8n while you're playing with it. It's cool. Can't do that in Make. We are finding the hell out of these citations. We are finding these citations so well, ladies and gentlemen, that we didn't even get an error in the extract and format outlines node. That is some energy. Wonderful, wonderful. That will generate us lay outlines. And we're just doing them one item here, but when we generate a better outline, it's still going to be one. When we separate into sections, though, it's going to be a lot, right? And we're going to have to write 6 sections simultaneously. So if there is going to be an issue, I anticipate the issue is going to be here. This is just one call with GPT 4.5, right? Not that big of a deal. I would love to get myself a button that I can click anytime I want that plays Jeopardy music. And then every time I have a wait like this, I can just click a button and it goes dun, 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 dun. Or maybe I need like a hat or something, you know, like a funny hat, funny waiting hat. I put on like the waiting hat. Maybe on top there's like a clock or something on said hat. That'd be a really funny mini game. Anytime you watch my content. Would keep you engaged as opposed to just looking at a little wheel. Should be fun. But yeah. We must wait for the outline to be generated, and I am a very lazy editor, so I prefer not to have to edit stuff like this wherever possible. So if I could find a way to make it super engaging, that would solve my whole problem. Okay, generated the better outline. Outline looks pretty good here. I'm not seeing any problems. I'm seeing links. That's good. We're separating them into sections. Introduction, this looks good. Basically the exact same thing that we were doing before. Very different article to last time. We split them out. These are some very in-depth outline sections. Very, very nice. So now we're writing section by section. We're doing all 9 simultaneously. If I open this up, one unfortunate thing is you can't see the nodes as they are being generated, but they certainly are. No limiter here. So this OpenAI node is going to generate some images. We're then going to merge them. Anything that I can just get ahead of while I'm waiting. Looks pretty good. I mean, like, you know, ideally we would add metadata. So the image URL would not just be a lone image URL. We'd have the image URL plus we'd have some caption. But it is what it is. And I am very curious to see what sharing that image would look like, sharing the final product would look like. It'll be kind of a waiting game because I'm sure we're going to run into some issues during the generation of this puppy. Okay, we've written the sections. Looks like we had 9 items come in. Very cool. If I now look at the output, first section looks formatted well. I can't really say much more than that. But yeah, it does look formatted well. Second, third, and fourth sections look formatted well. What we're doing now is we're generating the images via OpenAI. And you know what? Maybe the reason why I thought that these would both run simultaneously is because I'm used to doing 2 inputs to a merge node like this. So now that I think about it, I probably could have had a merge node where I merge these 2 together and then feed it into AI, and that probably would have run. But to be honest, I'm just saving a little bit of real estate there. No major problems or issues. I'm surprised that we haven't. Okay, there we go. We have now run into. Yes, we have now run into an issue. Maximum length is 4,000 characters. Cool. So that's very good to know. Maximum length of the section is 4,000 characters. What was the issue that led me to being over 4,000 characters? What we should probably do is we should probably just summarize this, feed the summaries into OpenAI instead of this. Should I do another model call? If I do another model call, we are really getting in the thick of it here. But I could. What that would look like is I have a simple prompt that just say, hey, summarize this section, summarize key findings in this section, basically. Then I would feed that in here. And then instead of it being 4,000 characters like it is now, by the way, 4,000 characters is about 700 words or so. Wait, really? 700 words? I fed in 700 words in this thing? Which one, man? I see 9 items here, but which one? Let's check the output of this. 700 words? I don't know. That doesn't look like 700 words to me. That doesn't look like 700. 4,000 characters, 2 words. Yeah, man. Wild. What the hell is 700 words? Okay, might be this one. This is pretty long. No, still not that long. You know what it might be? Maybe it's a word limit, rate limit thing. Yeah, I should probably do that. I haven't really touched on debugging at all. Not even a tiny bit. Bunch of different ways we could solve this problem. I could generate fewer. No, I think I'm going to have to. I think I'm going to have to just generate very short summaries. I do want an image at the end of every one. Okay. Well, why don't I do this then? Why don't I add another module here? Just call it OpenAI. I'm going to say message a model. It's going to be a very dumb model to minimize character limits. GPT-4 mini. Minimize cost as well. You're a helpful, intelligent writing assistant. Then I will say, summarize this into 5 bullet points. Then I will feed this in. I will simply take summarize the below section, article section, into 5 bullet points. Return output in JSON. I'm going to say summary. Let's not do bullet points. Okay, I'm then going to go user. I'm going to feed it in article section. Here. Then I'm going to close that, output the content as JSON in summary. I will then test this once. Oh, fuck. Oh, crap. It's going to test 9 times. Yeah. Yeah, it's going to test 9 times. That sucks, man. Can we just stop this? Stop. For the love of God, man, stop. All right, I have confidence that that's going to work. So what do we do inside of generate? We open this up, and then we want JSON. Oh, actually, it's kind of annoying. I kind of do want to test this. Can I grab a piece from one of these articles? Let's go back here now. let's test this just so I can get a feel for what the output looks like. Content summary, right? Go back here, paste that in. Now, because I have this, I'll have access to the content summary down there, which means I'll be able to just drag this in, easy peasy lemon squeezy. Now going to test this with my very short summary. Oh, right, it's probably 4,000 characters with all of the prompt there. Test this with my very, very short summary. Is this running more than once? No, it's just running once. Cool. We got the cute little thing with the sales. Perfect. Nice. So now we can just feed this limit in. We're going to take as input the article section that we've generated from here. Okay, cool. All right. Awesome. So let me just do this again. Yeah, I'm just going to continuously do this until I get further and further along. Do I like testing and spending God knows how long doing this? No, I don't. But is there any other way to be sure that the system does what you want it to do? First, you do node by node testing, just like we've done. But next, you have to test the entire performance of the unit as a whole, like I'm doing now. So no, there is no other way to do it. I'm just going to keep on doing it until I brute force my way through this and then eventually finish it. Okay, and it looks like we are now good to go with that. Flow started and finished in, I think it was like 2.5 minutes or so. So it does take a fair amount of time to generate one of these puppies. The end result is over here. You'll get a little Google Doc thing that looks like this with the HTML. Once you click open with Google Docs, it'll be here. I'm just going to add a little bit of formatting to this because I like the way that it looks. Technically, you can do this through API as well. You could get the idea of it and then like add a bunch of your pre-formatting rules if you want. And I'm just going to look at this right now and kind of verify that this isn't, this is what I wanted. So it does look pretty good, aside from the images, I will say. Images are certainly the weakest part of this because, let's be real, none of those words make sense. Why do real words when fake words do gooder? Repeatable, scalability, training, scrannin. I mean, these are cute as hell. They really are. I just wish there was some way to like turn the text mode off or something, man. Be so much easier if it was just all stuff like this. This is perfect. This is all you want, right? Like imagine if you had a blog with just a bunch of this stuff. Oh, fantastic. But we don't. It looks like we also have one generated at the end. I could get rid of that. I don't think I will. That's fine. Look how happy he looks. Oh, and he's like holding a little happy guy. All right. So a clearly defined sales process plays a critical role in the success of any agency. Where I'm just going to proofread it myself because I want to make sure that the content is actually okay. If not, I can pass this whole thing, all 2,450 words, through another prompt. Clearly defined sales process plays a critical role in the success of any agency. Structure framework. Okay. Right. Structured sales methodologies. Very cool. Yeah. Sweet. I'd give this like 90th percentile content. It's better than a lot of people that I've worked with. You know, I run a content writing company. Of course, you know, to be frank, the value of content is going down just because the demand for content goes down concomitant with the supply going up. So, you know, I'd keep that in mind, right? Like you used to have to pay several $100s to get an article of about this length with, you know, reasonable quality copy like this that was not copy and pasted. Now you have AI do the quote unquote copy and pasting. Some people would disagree on whether or not it's plagiarism or not, but yeah. So listen, I've read most of this. This looks really, really, really good. Actually better than I was expecting. I didn't think the quality would be this good. So that's really positive. It's super positive actually. I want you guys to know that I've generated this as a Google Doc, but you can generate this in whatever means you want. You don't have to do it as a Google Doc like I'm doing here. You could theoretically hook this up to WordPress. Okay. In WordPress, you upload HTML and it is formatted just like this, just without all the bullshit that I had to deal with from, you know, this section over here onwards. So you could actually just get rid of all that and just feed the markdown directly into the WordPress module. It'd be good. You know, if you wanted to instead feed in, what do we got? We got a Webflow site here, right? You'd create an item inside of Webflow. Now, I don't know if the formatting is exactly the same, but you would probably have to make some formatting adjustments. Markdown itself probably wouldn't work. HTML may, I don't know. Let's just double check this really quickly before somebody gets me in trouble. Use the API to create a post. Yeah, I'm not really sure about that, but I guess what I'm trying to say is there are a variety of CMSs that do this sort of thing for you, content management systems. You could use one called like Contentful. That's what I used for quite a while. Storyblock, it's pretty big. And there are a few more as well. If you're hosting your website anywhere else, a WordPress engine, no, I don't believe you could do that. But Strappy was really big. I used that for a while. So whatever the formatting is of the thing that you are uploading your blog post to, obviously you'd have to cater to that with that last section. But yeah, that looks to be the flow. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to briefly outline the sections as I've mentioned, and then I'm going to upload this. You'll be able to find this file anywhere in Maker School, inside of Classroom, inside of Resource Library. So you'll have access to all of the blueprints that I am going to be doing on n8n from here on out there. And all you need to do is sign up. You can sign up for 5 minutes if you want to download all the blueprints and leave. Obviously, I don't recommend it, and I'd like you to stay for longer. But just to be candid, that's kind of how this works. So this is going to be the formatting. So I'm just going to say platform specific. This will rely on the particulars of the platform you are uploading to. For demonstration purposes, I've created a Google Doc file. But you could upload to WordPress, Webflow, a CMS like Contentful, etc. That looks pretty good. Over here, I will drag this saying using a form input here. No, I think I'll just discuss that I'm using HTTP requests. And it now has the web search model built into their OpenAI nodes. So you don't need to do this. So you don't need to do a direct. You don't want to. I did, though, just for demonstration purposes and because I'm a moron. But hey, what are you going to do? Let me see. What else should I document here? Oh, yes, this image model. This image model here. I've used DALL-E 3 for the image production, but note that there are some issues with this that, in my humble opinion, and you can certainly fix most of it with prompts, but probably not all. Note that there's some issues with this that, in my humble opinion, reduce the output quality of the article. Hot swap this with another image generator, perhaps something on Fal.ai, generative media platform for developers, or an unofficial Midjourney API. Cool. That's going to be that information. And then, yeah, I believe you guys now probably have everything you need in order to make this good, right? Let me just make this a little bit bigger so everybody could see it. And I just want this to line up because I am kind of weird about that stuff. So let me just make sure that we are perfect. Yes, I think we are perfect. Cool. Awesome, guys. I had a lot of fun putting this puppy together. I'm just going to save this right now. And then I'm going to export or download this blueprint. We'll call this deep. Oh, yeah. Sorry. Obligatory. Cha-ching. Had a lot of fun putting this puppy together. I'm just going to save this file just so that everybody here has it from here on out, called Deep Content Generator. And as I mentioned, I'm going to be posting that on Maker School. Hopefully you guys got to see the behind the scenes of what like an n8n development process looks like, keeping in mind too that there are many situations in which I stumbled, right? Like I ran into a couple of variable errors where I didn't realize that I needed to name a specific item in a list as opposed to just the entire list. I've been building stuff on no-code platforms for the better part of the last 8 years or so now. Like I'm very, very familiar and very competent with these things, but I still have to go look up the documentation day by day. Don't think that anybody regardless of how cool and sleek and amazing they may make their YouTube videos out to look from the outside perspective, don't think that anybody doesn't do that, because we all do. Developing stuff these days is not really about knowing all of that information, because the landscape just changes too quickly for you to really be able to sit down, study everything, and constantly have the right way to do it at the top of your head. Instead, good developers on any platform or using any programming language, they're adept at finding the information that they need and then employing it. They're adept at recognizing patterns in the way that things are built and then using those patterns in new and unfamiliar environments. So thank you very much for watching all the way up until the end of this video. As I mentioned, if you have any questions, just drop them down below. If you guys want content, if you want blueprints like this, check out Maker School. Otherwise, I've given you everything you need in order to walk through it on your own. You could screenshot this and drag and drop the nodes and go to the specific parts of the videos and try and do it all. Or, you could jump on the monthly subscription, download that, and then also get a bunch of additional bonuses like coaching with me, Q&A directly in the forum. I'm not going to yap your ear off, but that's that. If you could do me a big solid, like, subscribe, do all that fun YouTube stuff. I'll catch you on the next video. Thanks so much for the time. Bye-bye.